They once warned the world they would freeze Europe, but today, it is their own cities shivering in silence. Across Russia, a different kind of battlefield has emerged. No tanks, no explosions, only broken heaters, frozen pipelines, and collapsing power systems. Families wake up in icy apartments while officials continue delivering victory speeches on television. This is not a temporary winter issue. This is the exposure of a system that has been decaying for decades. From major cities to strategic military zones, basic infrastructure is failing at the worst possible time. Heating systems are collapsing, electricity is unstable, and entire districts are left without hot water. WarlogicX does not follow propaganda. We follow facts, verified reports, and ground-level evidence. What we are witnessing is not bad weather. It is the result of neglect, corruption, and misplaced priorities. While massive funds flow into warfare, the everyday survival of citizens is being ignored. Today, we begin uncovering how a so-called superpower is unable to keep its own people warm. And once you see the truth, you will understand why this crisis is far more dangerous than any foreign enemy. Our investigation begins in Saint Petersburg, a city considered the pride of modern Russia. Yet today, entire neighborhoods are freezing. Thousands of families have been living without heating or hot water for days after failures at key power stations. Parents report children getting sick. Walls inside apartments are cold to the touch. Authorities describe this as a technical issue, but the reality is deeper. Much of the underground infrastructure in this city dates back to Soviet times. Pipes that should have been replaced decades ago are still in use today. Maintenance budgets were reduced, postponed, or simply disappeared. There is a painful irony here. The headquarters of giant energy corporations stand tall in this city, yet ordinary residents cannot access basic heating. Billions are spent on military expansion, while essential civilian infrastructure rots beneath the streets. This is not just negligence. This is a decision. Leadership chose missiles over maintenance. And now, the consequences are arriving in the form of frozen homes, angry citizens, and collapsing trust. The crisis doesn't stop with civilians. It has reached the heart of Russia's strategic military zones. In the northern naval regions, bases responsible for nuclear fleets have experienced heating failures during extreme temperatures. Families of officers are left in freezing housing while systems struggle to function. This exposes a serious weakness. A military force is only as strong as the stability of the environment supporting it. When basic services fail inside elite bases, operational effectiveness suffers. Focus declines. Morale collapses. Reliability disappears. The truth is uncomfortable. Advanced missiles exist, but the infrastructure supporting them is crumbling. Power grids are unstable. Heating systems are unreliable. Water supply systems are outdated. This shows that the greatest threat to these facilities is no longer external. It is internal decay. A nation that cannot support its own military families during winter is revealing a dangerous level of systemic failure. Now look south to cities filled with historical pride. Once symbols of resilience and national identity, today they sit in darkness. Entire districts lose electricity after snowstorms because the grid cannot withstand basic weather pressure. Residents are forced to melt snow for water. Boilers shut down. Heating systems stop. The domino effect begins. No power means no pumps. No pumps mean no water. No water means no heating. What makes this tragic is that this isn't caused by enemies. It's caused by outdated equipment, lack of investment, and administrative neglect. Infrastructure that should have been modernized years ago was ignored. Funds allocated for upgrades were redirected elsewhere. Citizens now openly ask, what are we paying for? Bills increase every year, yet service quality decreases. This creates anger, and anger, when combined with hardship, becomes dangerous. As infrastructure collapses, financial pressure on citizens grows. Utility prices have increased sharply across many regions. Some families now pay 15 to 20% more for services that barely function. Imagine receiving a massive bill while sitting in a freezing apartment with no hot water. People are paying more for less. This destroys trust. It feels like punishment rather than governance. The system has entered a destructive loop. Pipes break, repairs require expensive parts, labor shortages drive prices higher, and the government shifts these costs directly onto citizens. Those who cannot pay face penalties, frozen bank accounts, or legal threats. People are now forced to choose between heating and food. This is not economic difficulty. This is societal collapse in slow motion. So why is this happening? The answer lies in two core failures: money and manpower. A massive portion of national resources is now redirected toward warfare. Local budgets once used for infrastructure are drained. Cities are left without the funding needed to maintain essential systems. The second issue is labor. Skilled technicians, engineers, welders, plumbers, the people who actually keep systems running, are gone. Many were mobilized. Many never returned. The technical knowledge that sustains cities is disappearing. Even when funding exists, there are no experienced professionals left to do the work properly. Repairs become temporary patches. Systems fail again, and the cycle repeats. These failures are not isolated. They form a pattern across the country. Major cities, remote regions, strategic zones, all reporting similar breakdowns. This is what experts call system overload. When too many parts of a system fail at once, recovery becomes nearly impossible. It's not just one pipe or one station. It's the entire structure aging simultaneously. Even if conflict ended tomorrow, the damage would remain. Infrastructure does not heal overnight. Technical expertise does not return quickly. Lost experience cannot be replaced easily. This is how states weaken, not through invasion, but through internal exhaustion. What's changing now is awareness. People are no longer silently enduring. Complaints are growing. Frustration is spreading. Citizens are starting to ask hard questions. Why are cities freezing while leadership speaks of strength? Why are utility prices rising while service collapses? Why is national pride emphasized while daily life deteriorates? These are dangerous questions for any leadership. History shows that when basic living conditions fail, loyalty disappears. Trust collapses faster than infrastructure. Empires rarely fall from external attacks. They crumble when they can no longer serve their own people. Hot water from the tap, warmth in winter, reliable electricity. These are not luxuries. These are the foundation of stability. When those disappear, the legitimacy of power begins to dissolve. The true crisis here is not just frozen pipes. It's frozen confidence, frozen belief, frozen hope. And once public belief breaks, no propaganda can restore it. What we are witnessing is not a temporary hardship. It is the exposure of long-term decay. A state that prioritizes expansion over survival will eventually fail both goals. The cities freezing today are warnings. The broken systems are signals. The suffering is the cost of years of misplaced priorities. This is not just a winter problem. This is a structural crisis. And the longer it continues, the deeper the consequences will become. If you want to continue seeing the truth beyond headlines, beyond propaganda, and beyond controlled narratives, backhand index pointing right, subscribe WarlogicX. Because reality deserves a voice.